All right, all right. I am back in the studio. My camera looks like butt. I don't I use see look at that. Look at that. See now it goes to like dark. So G Hub. I'm no, I know nobody's watching this, but Logitech G Hub. I'm gonna just call you out here because for some reason your your camera settings keep like going away, right? Like you keep losing camera settings on different things, and then you have to go back into G Hub and you have to adjust one thing, and it usually pops back. But it's becoming a pain in the butt, and I'm noticing it on multiple machines. It's not just this machine; it's every machine I have that has G Hub now has this issue with cameras, and it doesn't matter what camera it is. You guys have seen it when I do this from the house. The cameras are losing their thing, and I bought cameras to stay in this ecosystem, the G Hub Logitech ecosystem. I want to stay in the G Hub Logitech ecosystem, but I want it to work and not just default back to a horrible picture with, anyway, that's my rant. That's my rant. And then we have a special guest, well, not really a special guest, just we have another participant tonight, supposedly. He ran off to the pharmacy, but he is on the way back. So it should just be a couple of minutes, and Mr. Michael should be joining us. As you see, there's his spot. He hasn't muted yet, so that's why you have an echo. So I'm gonna do that, and then when he gets back, we can turn him on. So yes, and then we'll make sure that his stuff is working. All right, I realized I forgot something. Hang on, I'll be right back. I guess I can mute him now. I'm so prepared. I have a big work project due tomorrow, so I had to stay late. So I didn't even know I was going to be able to get over here and do this. Headphones. Crazy hair. All right, there we go. Wah! The thinning on top version. Ooh. So, yeah, we got this big project going on, or this big bid that's due tomorrow. And I didn't know if I was going to make it tonight or not, but I did. A little bit late. Usually if I'm streaming from here, I'll start at 6:15. But tonight it's a little bit later. But whatever. My stream anyway. I'll do what I want. So okay, let's see. It's just been crazy. But do we have what? I didn't really get a chance. I had it on part of the day, but I didn't really get a chance to see much updates as far as the crash. So where are we at with that? There we go. I guess we'll look here for updates. And So last night, as you all have seen, we had an American airliner and an Army helicopter that collided together outside of Washington, D.C. And what really, and this is where we have to get better at this, because we have the mainstream news agencies, which basically all got on the air and did a pretty good job, actually. I was watching multiples last night, and in fact, I can show you here real quick if I can find that little behind the scenes photo. Let's see. Oh, can I blow it up? All right, so little behind the scenes photo, and yes, my desk is a mess. I'll be the first to admit it. My desk is an absolute mess, but as you can see, I'm watching multiple streams of the damn thing at the same time, right? So there you go. There's my mess. Um, so I thought that the mainstream press did an okay job. Now, there was some confusion early, and we were talking about it a little bit. There was some confusion early about 4 people being pulled out of the water, because I heard that too. I heard that there were 4 people that were pulled out of the water, and so the thought was that there were 4 people that had survived. And that seemed to be what the narrative was there were 4 people that survived a crash. And so it came out later on that it never really got clarified, but that was kind of the reporting. And I think CNN was one of the first to say something. And what it was, they captured some scanner traffic that had mentioned that 4 people were brought out of the water, but the 4 people were not alive when they were brought out of the water. And so that's kind of a fog of war kind of thing. It's information that gets passed on, but it doesn't get passed on correctly, and then it gets amplified. I thought the bigger issue is you had you've got the video, right? Let's see if everybody's seen the video. Oh, come on. Where is it? Oh, here's a new one. Okay, this is a new dash cam. Okay. Let me show you this one. Okay. So this is a new video. So we've got there's the plane, there's the helicopter. Right? You got him kind of going right at each other. I mean, this does actually give it a good thing. Now, we're still looking at a 2D video of a 3D world, right? Obviously, they're at the same elevation, the same height, right? They're at the same altitude, which would be the scientific way to say it. They look like they're coming directly at each other. From the radar, you can tell no, the helicopter is actually coming at they're kind of going like this. Like that towards each other. So it's kind of a triangle-ish. Oh, we're just starting talking about the crash. And the early reports of the 4 people, I had mentioned that too. So we got the plane that comes into the thing. We got the helicopter going this way. And then we have impact. And now you've got a plane in pieces and a helicopter in pieces. And you see your momentum just doesn't stop. So now you've got a high velocity hit. See what else we got. Okay, we just got it again. Little highlights on the 2. But the thing that really bugged me last night, that just really, really bothered me, was you have people on X especially, and like Elon likes to say, X is the news now. We're the news. We're the media. Well, you had big accounts, very large accounts that immediately came out with, and here's the other video I was talking about, just so we are clear. I want to show this one because this was the original video, and so I saw people reacting to this video, which you can't see stuff. You can't see anything on this video. Like, you see the flame, right? You see a flame out. That's it. Well, the problem is I saw all these people react to this video saying that looks intentional. That's intentional. It's got to be intentional. And we're not talking small accounts. We're talking big accounts with no information whatsoever that just jumped out there immediately and said, "Oh, that's intentional." And so I called out a couple of them. I got in their stuff and did not hold back, which I'm not going to do. I never do. I will never. That's the thing, is one of the reasons I don't grow is I don't just post crap to post crap. I'm super damn busy as it is anyway. But I don't post to post. And so, I reply to stuff a lot, but I don't grow my own channel. That's my own fault. But I'm also not going to bow down and kiss anybody's ass. Anybody. Nobody. Okay, so yeah, here's one. This is Curtis Hulk. 99, 100,000 followers, so a decent size managing editor of Newsbusters. And so he's talking about the CEN correspondent and talking about the mid-air avoidance collision and stuff. But there is actually a context now on this. Traffic collision avoidance systems generate oral and visual alerts to separate aircraft getting close together. However, most of these alerts are disabled when the aircraft is below 1,000 feet. That is correct. If the aircraft is below 1,000 feet, you're not going to get the avoidance system. So, yeah. Let's see if they're. And then there was one guy, Bill Ackman. Okay, so Bill Ackman, CEO of Pershing Square, 1.6 million followers. 1.6 million followers. And it looks like he's deleted his post because he jumped out to this. And I did call him a fucking idiot. So, I mean, he did jump out to this whole conspiracy. This has got to be correct. Clay freaking Travis, right? 1.3 million followers. Clay Travis coming out with the, and he's not specifically saying that it's kind of thing, but he's implying that, that it's out. yes, this is out of the ordinary, right? And it absolutely 100% could be an intentional act. It's possible. It is absolutely possible, and I would not discount that. However, coming out and saying immediately that this looks intentional and we wonder who's on the plane and who was the VIP on the helicopter and oh my rah, 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 is very much not anything that should be going on. If X is the media and you want to be a responsible media, here's another one. Eric Doherty, 331,000. How can this be an accident? Any pilots want to weigh in? And so, he's from Florida's Voice. So the Florida Voice guy is saying, what the heck? And even Ron Coleman is just like, I don't understand the question. Well, yeah, you don't, because people just get out there immediately and start, and it's it's the nature of social media. It's the nature of trying to get numbers, but it's also, if we remember, this is the big part of it. A lot of these same people, I bet you, if you go back to search their account, if you go back and search their account, I bet you back in the days, they would be screaming about Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel was the chief of staff of Obama. And in fact, one of his famous quotes was, "You never want a serious crisis to go to waste." Right? That's one of the things that Rahm Emanuel, one of the quotes, Rahm Emanuel is very much known for his quotes. It was in response to the 2008 financial crisis. And so, that helped Obama actually get reelected. Right? No, helped him get elected to begin with, right? 2008, 2012, 2016. Yeah, yep. So Obama, 2008, his first election, Rahm Emanuel, and the never let a crisis go to waste. And that's the same principle that a lot of these big accounts are counting on. So some of the coverage, especially of the independent people, could, and so there was an X space that somebody had on, and there was some people on the X space, and it started creeping into there, and then somebody else shut that down pretty quickly. Like, no, we're not going to have that here. We're not going to have that here, because most likely, I mean, while granted, it is possible that this was not an accident, but I don't think it's very possible that it's, hey, how are you? I think I mean, it's heavily leaning towards an accident. I don't think anybody in the airliner expected this. And from what it sounds like, is the helicopter was on some kind of training mission, and it sounded like maybe that there was some night vision goggle stuff going on while that was happening. It now, should the helicopter have been at the same height as approaching aircraft? No. Did the air traffic controller, so it's coming out that possibly they were understaffed at the air traffic control center in Washington, and that the same controller was controlling airplanes and helicopters, which should have been two controllers. Should have been two controllers doing one doing helicopters, one doing aircraft. We also had the situation that, and I heard this a few times last night, that the runway that they had this plane come around to land on is not a commonly used runway. So if the helicopter pilots used to flights going in and out of Reagan International, and they mostly use the other runways, then possibly they asked the helicopter, do you have the CJR, or CRJ, which is a Canadian regional jet? You have them in your, do you pick them up? Do you see them? And I guess they answered on the helicopter channel. So I hate these things. I mean, we've been 15 years without a major aviation, from a carrier. We've not had now we've had a couple that, like the landing in the Hudson, and there's been a few where they've had to land with no landing gear and stuff like that, but nobody has died on those. And then the one in the Hudson is just, I mean, that's an extraordinary moment of aviation history to pop that plane down on the water and then everybody gets out. I mean, that's just incredible. But this is, yeah, this sucks. And I hate these. I just really, really hate these. And so kind of look at AP. So I think we could do better. I think if alternative media is going to take over on and be the media, then they've got to do better than they did last night, because the mainstream media really, that is why we still have mainstream media, is for incidents like this. Now, I did have the Agenda Free TV on with Mr. Lookner, and Steve Lookner is the most honest, the most honest independent media person out there. He is honest to a fault. And here's why. Here is why. If you watch other independent media folks, they're going to have Fox News or CNN or one of the broadcast network or one of the networks. They're going to be showing it. They're going to be talking over it. Now, is there a potential that they could get copyright struck for using those broadcasts? Yes, absolutely. 100% possible that independent media channels that use the other folks' broadcasts can get copyright struck for using those broadcasts. And so Steve Lookner will not use a broadcast feed that he does not have access to, which means he is he has licensed. And so, and I think he licensed Reuters. And so anything that Reuters is showing, he can show. And when he was covering the war in Gaza, his channel blew up again. Like, he goes through stages where he'll have big events and he'll cover them. And so he does, he is then limited though of what he can show. And so he's has a growing fan base. He really does. He'll have the scanner on, so you'll be able to hear scanner calls from him. And then if Reuters or somebody that he has an agreement with, or he has licensed their usage of the footage, he will show that. But he, like I said, he's honest. The guy is honest to a fault because he will not show anything that he doesn't have a license to, including posts on X, which if I mean, you hear it all the time. I've talked about this before, where people, these big accounts, they don't care what the content is. They don't care who posted the content. They're gonna suck up that content. They're gonna use it for all it's worth. They're gonna use it to get their numbers up. They don't care. Right. And so if you post a funny video and they think it's great, they will steal that thing in a heartbeat. And people will complain, say, "Why'd you steal my stuff?" And they're like, "Man," a lot of times they don't even answer because they're that big. Right. And so then they get paid on your work all the time, happens every single day. All these big creators, especially on X and Facebook, whatever, steal everybody else's stuff and post it as their own all the time. So if everybody out there was a Steve Lookner, then, well, one, I don't know that the I don't know that the content would get shown, but if so if you repost something, you retweet something, you actually link to the original work. That's the way you're supposed to do it, right? You're supposed to link to the original work and give the original work person the credit, the money, the views for their work. But most of these big content producers will not do that. And that's what, that ticks me off. I mean, even big folks on the, like Benny Johnson and shit, he is really bad about doing that. To the point, these guys also, if you put a watermark or something on there, unless you put the watermark in like white letters across the middle of the screen, they're gonna take the video, they'll cut it and crop it just enough so you can't see the watermark, and so you can't see who the original person was that did it. So I say, people, be Steve Lookner, be Lookners. So do we have any updates? We've got up until about 5 o'clock. Share the screen now. I'm all white again because of the, see how bright this damn thing is. I am a dark mode person. I do not like white screens. So cockpit voice and flight data recorders have been recovered from the plane. Okay. All right. That's new. I didn't see that. So NTSB investigators recovered the cockpit and flight data recorder. There were 2 Chinese nationals on the planes. That's not surprising, as this is a plane coming into Washington. Yes, it's coming in from Wichita, Kansas. However, it is coming into Washington, D.C., which is a hub for all kinds of people from everywhere. This is another thing, too, that I've heard of quite a few times today when I did get a chance to listen to it, that D.C. has got congested and a complex airspace, right? They have had multiple close calls there. They've had just, like I said, that they had to direct the plane to come into a different runway that it doesn't normally land on. You've got the helicopters coming out of the base. You've got all kinds of VIPs flying all around there. So yes, let's look at this. Let's look at this story. Pilots have long worried about DC's complex airspace contributing to a catastrophe. So if it's going to happen somewhere, DC is a very likely place. The airspace around Washington, D.C. is congested and complex. Combination aviation and airsports have long worried could lead to catastrophe. So if you have a complex, congested airspace, and you've only got one controller in the tower trying to control two different things, helicopters and planes, you're going to have issues, and we did. These fears materialized Wednesday night when an American aircraft plane collided with a military helicopter, taking the lives of 67 people, including 3 soldiers and more than a dozen figure skaters. That's the sad part too. As part of the USA development team was on here. Those were all like young figure skaters. And then the former Russian world champion in pair skating who came over here to be coaches were on the plane. Even in peak flying conditions, experts said the airspace around Reagan Washington National Airport can challenge the most experienced pilots who must navigate hundreds of other commercial planes, military aircraft, restricted areas around sensitive sites. Now, especially since 9/11, the airspace got even more complicated because you used to be able to fly near the Capitol, the White House, all that. That was kind of in the pattern, and they took all that out. This was a disaster waiting to happen, said Ross Amer, a retired United Airlines captain, chief executive officer of Aero Consulting Exports. Those of us who have been around a long time have been yelling into a vacuum that something like this would happen because our systems are stretched to extremes. There was no immediate word on the cause of the collision. Hang on a second. Oh, all right. Still getting over it. Still got a little bit of that stuff in my throat. But officials said flight conditions were clear as the jet arrived from Wichita, Kansas. Investigators have already begun examining every aspect of the crash, including questions about why the Army Black Hawk helicopter was 100 feet above its So we know that the Army helicopter was 100 feet above its permitted altitude and whether the air traffic control tower was properly staffed. 2 aspects of the thing that, yes, we were talking about. All right, hang on 1 second. Oh, wow. Look at that. Knocked. That's weird. Knocked my earpiece on the floor. Didn't even realize it. I was checking on Michael. I thought I'd heard him come in a little bit ago, but I didn't. But then as I got to the door there, he was walking in. So Michael, or Mikey, should be here shortly. Mikey, as his name says. Let's see. All right. So the Black Hawk was 100 feet above its permitted altitude. Interesting. Wonder what that altitude was. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. As authorities piece together the nation's deadliest U.S. airline crash since 2001, the tragedy has raised new concerns. What's that? Okay. He's going to grab a soda and come join us. All right. Experts and some lawmakers said they're concerned about the airspace about to get more congested in the wake of Congress's decision last year to ease restriction that had limited the airport to nonstop flights within 1,250 miles of Washington with a few exceptions. Oh, so, So right now there's a restriction. Experts and some lawmakers said they are concerned that the airspace is about to get more congested in the wake of Congress's decision last year to ease restrictions that had limited the airport to nonstop flights within 1,250 miles of Washington. Okay, so you had to have a nonstop and it had to originate within 1,250 miles of Washington. That's interesting. Lawmakers enabled airlines to launch new routes to destinations like Seattle and San Francisco. Well, you're going to try and put more airplanes in the into that area, you're gonna, yeah, you're just asking for it. All right. We are about to be joined. And I'm gonna put my earphones in so make sure that everything's working correctly. I'll probably have to. All right, hang on. We're gonna do some stuff here. Aha. All right, I'm back. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
You are ready. You're there.
I'm here.
Cool. Can you hear me?
I'm even muted.
What's that?
And I'm even muted.
Oh yeah, no, I muted you.
Sweet.
I got you muted.
Hello, everyone. You started without me.
Hey, and you're here. Oh, I did.
That's okay.
100 feet. They were 100 feet below their. They were 100 feet above their permitted altitude.
An Army helicopter.
Yes. Which is, I don't. I mean, at that point of the flight, I think they were only like a couple hundred, like 300 to 500 feet. Now I'm confused.
Did they identify the aircraft?
Yeah, it's
the Black Hawk.
So the
60.
Yeah, it was a VH-60 or I think it was the VH-60 variety, but it was a Black Hawk.
What is a V?
And then a C. It was the. Hang on.
Like a VIP aircraft?
Yeah, no, this one wasn't though. This one wasn't the VIP. It might have been a UH-60. I think the V. It's whoever. It's who makes it. I guess there's two makers of the damn.
Well,
Black Hawk. There's.
Well, hold on. The CH-60 because it's mainly a cargo.
No. There's a UH-60 and a VH-60. They're made by two different manufacturers.
Okay, what's an SH-60?
I don't know.
That's the Navy's version of the Black Hawk. We call it a Seahawk.
Okay, so Sikorsky, a subsidiary of Aerospace Defense Lockheed Martin, makes the UH-60. And then a VH-60. VH-60. Okay, so they're all right. So Sikorsky makes them both. The VH-60, I guess, is like the presidential helicopter. The VH-60 is a U.S. presidential transport helicopter known as Marine One. So
that's not 60. Marine One. It's CH-54.
And it says that's a VH-60N.
Well, I know the 60 is the Hawk,
right?
But the Sea King or the Sea Dragon, the SH, the CH-54. Hold on, let me get screen here.
Right here.
Thank you.
The VH-60 White Hawk is the U.S. presidential helicopter, also known as Marine One.
I see that.
What's that?
Can I enlarge that image?
Yeah. No, you can't. I can. Oh, the image? Yeah, I don't know.
That's a 60. And that's not the one I'm used to as Marine One.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, it even says it on the tail.
Yeah, no, I got you there. And that's a 60. There's.
Yep. All right. Oops, shit. Yeah, so they were 100 feet above where they should have been. So that is a big oopsie. You are correct. That's not right. But now I'm curious where they were All right, so let's go. Let me go ahead and share this tab back again. All right, so we know, so we're starting to see a pattern here. There's congestion there. You've got a aircraft that is a different regional jet had to maneuver around a military helicopter at Reagan Airport just over 24 hours prior to collision. I saw this too. Just over 24 hours before Wednesday's fatal midair crash, a different regional jet executed a go-around maneuver when descending to land at Reagan Airport due to a military helicopter in the same area. Flight tracking sites and air traffic control logs show the Embraer E-175 was cleared to land at the airport runway 19 and advised about a helicopter in its vicinity. It executed a go-around after its automated collision avoidance system ordered what is known as a resolution advisory to avoid nearby aircraft. Oh, wow. Okay. Put the aircraft out of proper alignment for landing. Military aircraft, call sign Pat 1, was advised of the descending airplane. Flight tracking shows the plane flew roughly 1,000 feet above the helicopter, a normal acceptable separation. Yep. And it said earlier that the aircraft avoidance system, once you're below 1,000 feet, it's usually shut off because you're so close to the ground, it's going to pick up a lot of interference, right? So anything below 1,000 feet, that aircraft avoidance system doesn't really work. We have Trump's thing.
I'm used to the Marine 1 and Marine 2 being MH-53s. If you want to look that helicopter up real quick.
Yep.
This is the helicopter that you would think carries the presidential office because they're so much bigger.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
I'm just not seeing one all doctored
I've
up.
seen that. Yeah, exactly.
And it's got a refueling probe on it. That's how big this helicopter is.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I'm just not going through images, and I'm just not seeing a VIP version.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I remember in Hawaii, we had, when President Clinton came on Wheeler, Marine 1 and Marine 2 were right there, and they weren't 60s. They were 53s. But that Hevo is so darn big. I remember one was offloading troops on the USS Kitty Hawk when I was on board in 99.
Yeah.
That thing had so many troops on it, it's probably still disembarking right now. That's how big they are.
All right.
I mean, people did not stop coming out of the back of that thing.
We have this. That would be it right there. That would be the plane you're talking about.
Well, let me get back to my screen.
Right there.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one I saw.
Okay. Interesting. Well, that's the one they're saying that Biden used in 21. So.
Right. So why they would switch to the 60, which is a much smaller aircraft?
Maybe in places where you can't get that big bastard in there.
That's the point of a Hevo. It can get in.
True.
But yeah, that's the one that he takes from the White House to Andrews to get on Air Force One.
Yep, exactly.
God forbid he take the limo.
So air traffic control staffing was normal, AP source says. Well, we'll see.
That's debated already.
One air traffic controller is and this was 1:30 this afternoon. So now it's changing a little bit, this thing. Okay, so
I can't imagine crew from the Army Hevo fared well.
No, nobody fared well at all.
Oh, there weren't even survivors from the Embraer?
Nope, nothing. Originally there was reports that 4 people had been pulled from the water, right? And so when you hear 4 people were pulled from the water, it gets around that there were 4 survivors that were, taken to the hospital or whatever. Well, it turns out that no, there were 4 bodies pulled from the water. Just when somebody hears something that's told over the scanner, and that's their only context is the scanner context, and they have no context outside of what they hear on the scanner, and then they report that. You see what happens, right?
Yeah, I
It
can't
gets
imagine.
reported as
I can't imagine a helo at an active airport, active runway, doing, a nap of the earth transit. Normally, you get to take off and leave the airport.
It's not an active. It's not an active runway. Oh, there went my camera again. Holy crap!
Well,
Hang
if
on
it
a
had an
second.
Embraer taken off from it and a helo taken off from it, that's an
No.
active airfield.
No. They weren't taking off. The helo wasn't taking off. The helo was on a training mission. And the helo actually, its path went from like the CIA had like Langley, right? That's where its path started. So let's see. It was not taking off from the airport. It just happened to be in the vicinity of the airport. And let's see. Okay. Right here we have.
You're not on screen.
I know.
Okay.
All right. So this helicopter left the CIA base, was flying dark. Now, it was a helicopter, but an unidentified plane on radar. It took a erratic flight path up the river. So it sounds like they were doing some night training. Now, okay. I do agree, if you're doing night training and there's some talk of night vision goggles and stuff going on, so maybe they were doing night vision goggle training using the river or whatever. Why do you have any need to go near the airport?
Why in the world would you do night vision with NOG in a populated area?
Correct. So this is actually the path of that freaking helicopter. Now, obviously this is posted online, so who knows? Yeah. So they're kind of they're hugging.
The Embraer on an air corridor?
It was a CRJ. No. Yeah. So hang on a second. We'll get to that. So they're getting near the thing. The CRJ was told to come around and land on a different runway than what normally used. It was landing on runway 33, which isn't even an instrument landing runway. It's a visual only runway. They asked the pilot if he could come around and land on 33. So it wasn't a very commonly used airport or runway. It's not one that there's constantly traffic in and out of. So that was another thing I think that contributed to this. So here's the airport down here. And kind of see his flight path. Still kind of, it's all over the damn place. It's really weird.
Wow. Once you get in the box.
Yep. And then
I can't imagine that.
And then there we go right there. There's the collision. So you got this plane. This is the plane down here coming in. And you can see the plane's coming up and then turns left to line up for runway 33, and then that's where they hit right there.
And did the tower have?
Talking to your mic, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Did the tower have the helo?
Yes. He even asked, and I haven't heard this yet. Let's try and find that traffic. But they even asked the helo if they had the CRJ, and I guess the helicopter answered on the helicopter channel that yes, but they're thinking that maybe they saw a different aircraft and they identified a different aircraft when they were asked that question. And so, let me see if I can find the helicopter ATC.
100 feet higher than they should have been?
Yes.
Space.
Microphone.
That's not a lot of space.
No, it's not. Turn your gate down a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, it says raw air traffic control here. So let's see. Give me 1 second to share. This is the raw air traffic control, supposedly.
Pass 25, get the CRJ in flight. Pass 25, pass behind the CRJ.
Crash. This is alert 3. Crash.
So this does not have the response from the aircraft. This is also way out of sync because there's like 30 seconds between the Pat 25. You have the CRJ in sight. So that's not a very good representation of what happens. Let's see. Okay.
Bit of funk to it.
Yeah. Turn that down a little bit so it doesn't blow people's eardrums out. Let's see.
Pass 25, get the CRJ in flight. Pass 25, pass behind the CRJ.
Oh, okay. So maybe it is that close to it. All right. I thought it was supposedly within, like,
Pass 25, get the CRJ in flight. Pass 25, pass behind the CRJ.
Did you see that?
472.
So that sounds like that's like real fast.
Yeah, it's hardly any time to answer. Yeah, I have it in sight or not.
Yeah.
I was given instructions what to do about it.
left end 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130.
Lucy for 347, go around, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, so that's just, they're just gonna like. All right, so.
Crash instead of Mayday.
Well, that was somebody else though. That was another flight.
Well,
that was
anyway,
another plane.
Mayday, if you see one.
Yeah, I don't know.
In fact, that's the point. It because it's Mayday is an emergency. It doesn't mean anything other than you have emergency traffic to send.
Right. Okay, here's a report from ABC7, just out of
The
curiosity.
National Transportation Safety Board is now leading the investigation into that deadly mid-air collision that claimed the lives of 67 people.
So I've heard that the helicopter actually answered on a different channel, but I haven't heard that yet.
Reporter Josh Einiger from our sister station in New York. He is live near Washington, D.C., joins us with the very latest. Josh?
Philip, they're just reeling here in the nation's capital today after what happened in the skies overhead last night. Right now, Reagan National is back up and running. Flights are taking off and landing on the runways behind me, but just past the runways, a few dozen feet in the water, that's where the recovery effort is going on right now to try to find the bodies of the dead. It was a violent collision in a pitch black sky. Investigators sure to be...
Oh, we got new footage. All right, slow it back down. New footage.
It was a violent collision in a pitch black sky.
All right, you can see. So you see the lights of the helicopter, right? Right there. Let me blow this up. Watch, you'll see the lights of the helicopter
In a pitch black sky.
I mean, this is a very low quality video, but you can see the lights flashing.
Sure to be studying this video of the fireball last night over Reagan National Airport, when in an instant, a routine flight turned deadly. The wreckage of an American Airlines regional jet plunging into the waters of the Potomac River, where after hours in the freezing dark, rescue workers faced the grim reality there was no one to save.
At this point, we don't believe there.
This guy studied under William Shatner. Listen to this. Listen how dramatic this guy is.
After hours in the freezing dark, rescue workers faced the grim reality there was no one to save.
That's some William Shatner theater of overacting stuff right there, boy.
At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors.
The emergency unfolded around 9 last night. American Eagle Flight 5342, a regional jet from Wichita, was just a few seconds from landing at National's runway 33.
Seconds from landing. 30 seconds, 20 seconds from landing at the freaking airport, man.
Black Hawk helicopter was approaching. Controllers warned the military aircraft, call sign Pat 25, about the regional jet, known as a CRJ.
Pat 25, get the CRJ in flight.
This club has a aircraft in sight, precision separation.
Okay, there it is. There it is, right there. Right there. That was it. That was the answer. So they did get it recorded. Okay. I know I'd heard that they had recorded it. So he said, I have an aircraft in sight. Was it the correct aircraft? Probably not. I don't think he knew that they were that close to an approaching aircraft. I think they were used to that runway not being used. I don't think they knew that somebody was going to be in that flight path. And I think they had a different aircraft in sight.
Call sign
Let's listen again.
about the regional jet known as a CRJ.
Pat 25, CRJ in flight.
This cloud has a aircraft inside precision separation.
But despite that confirmation of so-called visual separation from the jet, EarthCam webcam video shows the Black Hawk closing in, and then the collision.
It was lit up a very bright yellow.
Yeah, you don't say.
If you, and that's the other thing too. If you're an air traffic controller and you see that, and I heard this. No, this isn't my thing. I heard this earlier too. Is, if you say, do you have the aircraft that you're on a course on the same altitude with? Do you have that aircraft in sight? You know what I mean? Or some a little more defining characteristics, especially at night, than do you have an aircraft in sight, right? That makes sense?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the pilot was flying with Nog. I mean, it seems like a really horrible idea to fly in that populated of an area with night vision.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, they hammered on us that the cherry from your cigarette could blind the pilot.
Wow.
I doubt it.
Right.
Or the pilot would like really have to stare at your lit cigarette to, home in on it. But
right.
But that's not the same thing as flying over Dulles.
No, exactly.
Where there's plenty of light to
shoot
out and blind your night vision goggles.
Correct. Yes.
And there was a stream of sparks underneath the plane.
Crash.
Oh, yeah, we know it.
Crash. This is alert 3.
The investigation began as quickly as the...
What's that?
That crash was scrambling. The smash and crash crew on the ground. And the Mayday call. Over the radio.
You're right. Yep, you're right. That was a ground
that was
crew,
like
wasn't
dispatching the fire crew.
Yep. Yeah, that's from the airport authority. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was a stream of
good call.
sparks
Good
underneath
call.
the plane.
Crash. This is alert 3. Crash. This is alert 3.
The investigation began as quickly as the rescue effort. The Pentagon says the Black Hawk and a 3-person crew were assigned to the 12th Aviation Battalion at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, and had been on a training flight using night vision goggles.
A senior level aviation team, an investigative team.
There you go. That's just ridiculous.
The 12th Aviation Battalion at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, and had been on a training flight using night vision goggles.
A senior level aviation team, an investigative team from our Aviation Safety Center, was deployed last night and already is in Washington, D.C. to investigate what's going on.
Safety is our expectation.
Was that his hair, or does he have tattoos on his forearms?
No, he has tattoos.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Nope, he's got tattoos,
Safety is our expectation. Everyone who flies in American skies expects that we fly safely, that when you depart an airport, you get to your destination. That didn't happen last night.
Yeah, no, so they made the news station turn off the camera lights when they were using night vision. So, yeah, but one of the reports I did hear was like it wasn't like the entire crew had night vision on. They might have had one person with the night vision on, then somebody in the other seat without it. So they were kind of trying to get used to it. Not the whole crew had them on at the same time.
I don't know. It's so like you could almost assume a student, trainee pilot and an instructor pilot.
Yep.
But that may not be the same thing because it could be familiarization with night vision goggles where you and your co-pilot are, equal training and you're out on a training run. It's in the military. You don't always have an instructor.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're correct. who knows? I don't. Yeah.
And
Well, I'm sure we'll
64
find
people
out.
did not get to
Maybe.
their destination.
Or to
60
cover up.
passengers,
Yes.
4 crew members, and then 3 more who were on that Black Hawk. This is less than 24 hours old, and already at a briefing at the White House this morning here in Washington, President Trump offered his own speculation for what caused it.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Sitting on the quote machine.
A week before I entered office, they put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program. Certainly for an air traffic controller, we want the brightest, the smartest, the sharpest. We want somebody that's psychologically superior.
He went on to speculate without evidence that programs promoting diversity in hiring somehow caused this catastrophe last night. We are expecting a more fact-based briefing from the NTSB within the hour. We hope to hear the first information.
These people
from
can't
them.
help. They can't help themselves.
We couldn't get the direct quote from the president. Instead, we get the edited summation from some flapping head.
Yep. No, exactly. They can't help themselves. Now, I will say that
I doubt DEI had anything to do with this.
I do too. I don't think that DEI had any. I think maybe understaffing might have contributed to this.
I could see how DEI hires led to the not as qualified or not tested better in class or something.
Right.
Might have led to someone with lesser credentials or something along those lines.
Yes.
But yeah, I really don't think that
that we're going to find out that this was somebody that was, was pushed through the courses because of the that made the quotas better or whatever. Yeah, no, I know.
They've got purple skin and
exactly.
Third-handed or something.
And I mean, that's one of the things that he does is he gets out over his skis sometimes and just he's going to tell you what's on his mind, right?
Well,
right, wrong, and different. He is just going to put it out there and the results.
They may have actually worked on it since the last presidency, but one of the things with its previous presidency was the press conferences he attended and he ran. He's just having a conversation.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That dude right off screen, and we'll get to your questions when I call on you. So we're having this conversation, and then people just mince the quotes and come up with something ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking to Jody about the injecting bleach bit. He was talking with a dude off camera, and they were talking about almost like, wouldn't it be great if there was just, say, a disinfectant and it would clean you out like a disinfectant cleans out your sink?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't that be something?
No,
and
exactly.
We get the edited quote of inject bleach.
Yep.
President recommends you inject bleach.
Oh my goodness.
And he wasn't even like talking to a member of the press per se. He was actually talking to that guy over there, and the press was in the room.
Right, exactly. So here is, I did see this today though on this case. This was the confirmation hearing for Biden's pick to run the FAA.
Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADS
I remember this guy.
transponder?
Not sure I can answer that question right now.
That's okay. We'll just keep going. So that's a pretty important part. So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay. So what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under basic med?
Senator, I'm not a pilot, so.
But obviously you'd oversee the Federal Aviation Administration. So any idea what those restrictions are under basic med, quickly?
Well, some of the restrictions I think would be high blood pressure. Some of them would be.
It's more like how many passengers per airplane, how many pounds in different categories, and what altitude you can fly.
How many
So,
engines on the plane?
And then amount of knots, it's under 250 knots. So it's not having anything to do with blood pressure. So you can tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot.
Okay, let's keep going. What are the 3 aircraft certifications the FAA requires as part of the manufacturing process? Quickly, please. 3 aircraft certifications.
Again, what I would say to that is that one of my first priorities would be to fully implement that Certification Act and report.
You know the
back to
3
this
types,
committee.
Mr. Washington? The 3
No.
types? Okay. Yeah, that's type certificate, production certificate, and airworthiness certificate. Okay, all right. Let's just keep going, see if we can
Oh my goodness.
get lucky here.
Yeah, refresh
So
my
can you tell
memory.
me what
Did
the
this guy actually come down to a vote, or did he hopefully withdraw?
No. They confirmed
minimum
it.
separation distances for landing and departing airliners during.
He got in there.
Mr. Washington.
I believe
don't
so.
wanna guess
I'm pretty
on that,
sure.
Senator.
I would
Are you
hope he
familiar with the difference
withdrew
between
after
Part
this.
107 and Part 44809 when it comes to unmanned aerial standards? Unmanned like drones, are you familiar with the difference?
Yes.
Okay, you know the difference between those 2, Part 44809 and Part 107? Do you know the difference there?
No, I cannot.
That's okay.
spell that out.
So that
Mr. Washington, can you-
was the selection for running the FAA. I don't remember if he got through or not. We can look it up.
I'm doing it now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, anyway.
Keith Washington was appointed acting FAA chief. Previously served chief of staff acting. Maybe not him. What was the guy's first name? Bill Washington?
I'm not sure. Let's see.
Oh, bows out. Yes.
Oh, he did. Okay. All right, good. Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Bill Washington, CEO of Denver International Airport, decided to take himself out of the running.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Wow, your camera looks. Oh my goodness. All right, so that more to come on that. Oh yeah, so this was Pete Buttigieg back in 2023.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just for posterity.
How concerned are you? I'm very concerned. We watch these things very closely. If you look at the last decade or so, you would see between 10 and 20 times a year, typically, that this would happen. This year, we're on track to have more than 20, and even one is one that I would not like to see happen. How concerned
So they're saying that close calls were going up after, in 2023. So
I imagine they would be with the amount of traffic going up.
right, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. How the hell when they gets the just standard aviation questions like what do you think of this? I don't know. I can't
And
answer
it's like
that.
aviation
I don't know.
administrative.
Right. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like book work, not
Right.
tell me how lift goes over the wing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna watch this and we'll talk about it because I gotta run to the restroom. But I'm gonna put this on. Hang on, let me get this set up so we can do this. This was the top 5 moments from the confirmation hearings today. And let me tell you that there was some fun stuff going on. Oh my goodness. Yep. All right, so let's see. Share this tab. So let's go. All right, hang on.
Bernie was on my
Pause
flight.
this. Oh yeah?
No, but I got a funny
Okay.
picture.
Here we go. And then I'll be right back.
Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and
no,
protecting
no,
their interests.
Oh, I thought that would, no. I ran for president like you. I got millions
I know.
and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, In 2020, you were the single largest
Because I had
receiver of
small
pharmaceutical money.
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
You were the
missed not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
tax.
you were the single largest
From
acceptor of
workers-
pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in the industry.
1.5 million.
General statement and a mischaracterization of what I said. I encourage you to read the rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent
Well,
process.
if you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2 minutes.
Wow.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
My concern has to do with the tendency to repeat Russian and Syrian, and even in some cases, I think we'll get into in the closed session, Iranian information, and to discount what comes from our intelligence community.
Senator, every American deserves to know that people in our own government were providing support to our sworn enemy, Al-Qaeda. That should not be acceptable by anyone.
Thank you.
Now, before I close, I want to warn the American people who are watching at home. You may hear lies and smears in this hearing that'll challenge my loyalty to and my love for our country. Those who oppose my nomination imply that I am loyal to something or someone other than God, my own conscience, and the Constitution of the United States, accusing me of being Trump's puppet, Putin's puppet, Assad's puppet, a guru's puppet, Modi's puppet, not recognizing the absurdity of simultaneously being the puppet of 5 different puppet masters. The same tactic was used against President Trump and failed. The American people elected President Trump with a decisive victory and mandate for change. The fact is, what truly unsettles my political opponents is I refuse to be their puppet.
I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
You
my entire
glorified
life,
it in song,
and I did
Mr.
not
Patel.
make a single dime out of
In
it.
song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that
Let me ask you
answer.
this.
Ooh, it got going today.
Almost all the members of this panel are.
Hang on. What's that?
It's, for the longest time, it's like I had decided to boycott Bakersfield, California for continuing to send Adam Schiff to Congress. And now I have to, renew my boycott for the state of California for sending Adam Schiff there as senator.
Right.
I mean, what does it say of those people as a whole?
I have no idea, dude. I don't know. I mean, Steve, I mean, it was a fairly tight race, but I mean, it still wasn't close enough as it should have been.
I just can't
that
imagine
guy,
how, assuming that they are level-headed and they're not all the vote blue no matter who mentality, and I know a good number of them are, but
right,
there's still got to be someone with their head on straight that says this man is a pathological liar.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, but
it means nothing to them as far as they're elected.
No, it's understanding. So here's some of Cash's. Here's like a top 5 of Cash's.
I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers.
And then somebody did. Now, one of the guys after this called this out. This kind of turn around and look at the people that behind. You know, that's all grandstanding. That's all a game.
Yeah.
None of this helps the people out there. It doesn't explain anything to people watching this. It's just political grandstanding. It makes this does not advance anyone. It's not persuasive to anyone.
And none of it's going to sway another senator's vote.
Exactly. So yeah, the one guy talked about, are we still in grade school? What the hell was that, basically?
I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that
answer. Let me ask
answer.
you this, Mr. Patel.
And lying under oath is a federal offense, and they should be investigated for it. Do you believe that about the police officers?
That's a general statement and a mischaracterization of what I said. I encourage you to read the rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent process.
If you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions, and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2 minutes.
Wow.
That was freaking brutal, though, dude. That was brutal. And so let's preface why this happened. So in the original, so they have 5 minutes of questions, right? Each senator has 5 minutes of questions. And I just happened to catch Klobuchar and his thing. And so she went on for like an extra 3 or 4 minutes, right? Like going back and forth. And then Grassley didn't stop her questioning. So then some of the other Republican senators are like, hey, if she gets extra minutes, then we want our extra minutes. And then it was, because they get a second round with 3 minutes. And so they're like, well, then she should be excluded from the second round. And especially, Kennedy from Louisiana, he's hilarious. So he jumped. He jumped into that fray because in her first round she went on and on and on, and then he says this. So he says, "Well, you got 2 minutes," and so that's kind of how that happened.
You've got 2 minutes.
Wow.
You said FBI agents were responsible for the violence on January 6th, and I quote you here, beyond a reasonable doubt. Is that what you said?
That's completely incorrect, and I appreciate the opportunity to address that.
I'll give you an opportunity in writing, but this is my time now.
Have at it.
And inspect your analysis. But I do think you have an assignment from Donald.
You stated your question. Would you answer? Or don't you want to? Okay.
We can move on.
Senator Blackburn.
Thank you.
We can move on.
Yeah, we're not going to ask you a question.
I mean, yeah.
We're just going to filibuster for 5
No,
minutes.
exactly. That's all that was.
Any false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations. The only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Brutal.
I like Kash. I like Kash Patel.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. It's like I said, this is all. It's all grandstanding. None of this moves the ball. None of this.
I seriously doubt Senate hearings work the same way court, but in court, only the answer is evidence.
Correct. Yep.
So with that mentality, if a senator wants to sit there and filibuster and grandstand for his 5 minutes and not actually ask a question,
right,
then that senator is putting no evidence in the record.
Right. Well,
only the answer is the evidence.
Yeah, it's not exactly.
But I realize
court
it's not a court of law.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of bad. I will admit this is kind of rude, but this meme popped up, and it has to do with Senator Warren. This is one of her things on Capitol Hill today. Oh shit, where'd it go? No. Oh no.
All right, take the Cliff Notes version.
Hang on, damn it. Oh, you stupid. Hang on. All right.
All right. Already?
A little bit of AI, Senator Warren.
It would have been so much easier, although she had actually, spun that lie pretty good. But once those results had come out, she'd go, I was mistaken.
Yep. No, exactly. Exactly. Instead.
But it's kind of, if you've put your whole political career on the back that you're,
Yep. No,
it's
exactly.
it's a little tougher to dig that one out. But still, if she'd have just gone, I was wrong.
Yep. No, exactly. Okay. So 2 days ago, we had RFKJr. And so this is, and I need to go get a water. So I'm going to turn this on and we'll watch this while I run to the front and grab a water. But just stand by there for a minute while I get myself ready, because I'm obviously not ready to do
Well, let
that.
me ask you this then, because you keep citing the Trump
guess I'm
administration
ready.
and you're just going to follow what they say. Is that what you're doing? You're just a rubber stamp for them in this position? So anybody, so it doesn't matter that you're before us. It could be anybody coming before us, as long as they're a rubber stamp for this administration and disregarding your beliefs and what you think. I guess my question to you is, if it really is fundamental to what you believe, how do you live with that? How do you address those issues as you're moving forward, knowing that it's going to harm Americans? Yeah.
You want me to answer the question?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay. President Trump has asked me to end the chronic disease epidemic and make America healthy again. And I'm
So
in a
is that the
unique
only reason
position.
why you're at HHS? Is that the
Excuse
only
me?
reason why then you're at the HHS, to address that one issue?
President Trump has asked me because I'm in a unique position to end that. And that is what I'm doing. And if we don't solve that problem, Senator, all of the other disputes we have about who's paying, and whether it's insurance companies, whether it's providers, whether it's HMOs, whether it's patients or families, all of those are moving deck chairs around on the Titanic. Our ship is sinking. Our 60% increase in Medicaid over the past 4 years is the biggest budget line now, and it's growing faster than any other. And no other nation in the world has what we have here. No other nation has a chronic disease. We have the highest chronic disease burden of any country in the world. We had, during COVID, we had 16% of the COVID deaths in a country. We only have 4.2% of the world's population. We had a higher death count than any country in the world. And when CDC was asked why, they said it's because Americans are the sickest people on earth. The average person who died from COVID, American, had 3.8 chronic diseases. This is an existential threat economically, to our military, to our health, to our sense of well-being. And it is a priority for President Trump. And that's why he asked me to run the agency. And if I'm privileged to be confirmed, that's exactly what I'll do.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this then.
She did not look happy at the end of that, man.
Sometimes if you're not going to like your answer, maybe you shouldn't have asked the question.
Right. Especially you ask you ask like an open-ended question like that, and you're going to get the filibustered answer. I mean, you're going to get the answer that you don't want. Why did my camera do this again? Okay, there we go. I don't know why Logitech is doing this. It just loses settings. Just all of a sudden loses settings and resets back to normal everything, normal exposure, normal white balance, the whole thing. I don't get it.
Well, I just want to say, kids, tune in tomorrow, and we're going to have another awesome drawing.
Are you really?
This time will be a bad guy.
No, really?
Yeah.
What kind of drawing?
Like same kind of, cartoonish. I got to finish putting some background on him, but
okay.
The Juggernaut's got to be busting through.
Ooh, all right.
He was always my favorite Marvel bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the concept of him.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gets going, you're not stopping him. Yeah, that should go fun.
No, exactly. That should be awesome.
I was thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just on the comic book bad guys. I was thinking of picture this: in the DC world, the Batman bad guys. There was one mostly identified on the TV show from the '60s with Adam West and Burt Ward. King Tut was a bad guy for like 2 episodes, and spoiler alert: what he was an Egyptologist that was hit in the head in his research center. Some bookshelf fell on him or something like that. He has a head condition and he thinks he's King Tut reincarnate.
Oh.
And he goes harassing around town like some overweight, middle-aged King Tut would do.
Right.
And I'm fine with that. Where I have a problem was he had his wife, Nefertiti, who was not an Egyptologist, who was not hit in the head to think that she's, some ancient Egyptian queen now reincarnate to join King Tut.
Right.
Or an Egyptologist. And King Tut, the bad guy, also had henchmen.
Nice.
And what kind of head injury was this guy suffering that it just went to his woman in evil and evil henchmen to do his bidding?
No, right.
Any one of these guys say, this guy's a nut. Yeah, perfectly normal.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's great.
So he actually didn't have any powers or special tricks or whatnot. He was
just TBI.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that would be fun if you had a traumatic brain injury and it gave you special powers. That would be
well, say like the Joker, had a workplace accident that made him hideous, and he was already a psychopath to begin with.
Right. Trying to see if there was any other else. Oh, here's a couple of grads. Was this from today? This was from today's hearing. This is Grassley. Now he's getting up there. He's been around the block more than once.
Mr. Chairman, before we go to Lee, Mr. Chairman. Yes, what do you want?
Still spry.
I love this guy. Mr. Chairman, I'm unlike Senator Tillis. I mean, if we're going to start this, I want an extra 3 minutes.
This was what I was talking about.
My friend Senator Klobuchar went 3 minutes over.
So, here what you're saying is the chairman wasn't a very good chairman by not shutting her up. But I've gone through this before, and I think I know how to handle it. And get
I think you're a star-spangled awesome chairman. I just want to say that for the record. But if you're going to let somebody over there go 3 minutes over, I want my extra 3 minutes.
Well, let's see if it's abused by anybody else before we make that decision.
I'm just telling you, I'm going to abuse it.
Well, I'm not going to let you abuse it.
Mr. Chairman.
That was kind of a fun back and forth, though, during this thing.
I remember Senator Grassley when he was basically investigating the Biden family and their alleged now pardoned wrongdoings.
Mm-hmm.
And man, he was standing up and screaming it from the rooftops. He really was. He wasn't, beating around the bush or nothing. He was like, this happened, and this happened.
No, exactly. So the other day, did you see the interview with the part of the interview with Vance that everybody has been
no, I can tell you no, I didn't.
I don't I don't care, Margaret. Oh my gosh. Hang on. You got to see this. Yeah, let's see. Can we find it? Here we go. This was a Face the Nation interview where, I mean, it just, these things get so ridiculous. All right, this was on Face the Nation on Sunday.
All these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals
but there are
have been properly
30,000
vetted.
people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary
Do you stand by
concern
it?
as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people. And now that
So
we
no.
know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These
It's
people are
not
vetted.
good.
These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he
Yeah.
wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted, and because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really
But-
care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
Bam.
Yeah. Learn what side of the fight you are on.
Yep. So everybody has cut that. There's
Country, and I think most Americans agree with me. I don't really
But-
care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
I mean, you should just some of the faces that she makes during this freaking interview. Like, here's a good visual. This is kind of the face, like this is one of the faces she made during that interview. And I get it. It's in the middle.
It's a
of
snippet in time. Yeah.
right, but you can see. I mean, all through there, just the faces, the
disdain,
the disdainment, the whole thing. And so this meme has come out of this too. So
Yep. I can dig that.
Mm-hmm.
That's AI generated.
Yep. Nope, totally. That's one of the memes that has come out of the I don't really care, Margaret. Frankly, Margaret, I don't give a damn. Yep, like I mean just they and just the smugness, right? The smugness of I'm,
That was Casablanca, wasn't it?
frankly, yes, it
dear.
was. Yeah. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was Carmine's got a bit coming up with the Maltese Falcon soon. Maybe.
Mhm.
And I had to like restudy that one because it's been so long since I was familiar with that storyline.
Yep. There you go. There's just an example of some of the faces.
Mhm.
I mean, so, and I get it. Capture, like you said, it is a capture of a video of a moment in time of a video. But
there's a popular one of President Trump that he's supposedly making fun of a disabled reporter.
yes,
When
yeah,
it's
yeah.
obviously just a snapshot in time.
Yep.
With the right context or the wrong context, you could assume what he's doing, but if you watch the whole video that's attached to it,
No, exactly. But I mean, you can still, I mean, yes, you don't know what context a lot of these are in, but you still get the point. And
her
and
shoes are not comfortable.
some of these things are, some of these faces are like ones you make because you have disdain for the person that you are talking to.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. This one's even better. Look at that.
Yeah, I was done with her before. Right?
No, we got
need more of her.
800 of her. We got all that we could handle.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, the Tulsi, the Patel thing today was just one after the other of and a lot of it's just bloviating and grandstanding and
I wonder why they list her rank because she's clearly not there, representing the army or what
Right.
have you. So
Right.
why she's not there in uniform at all? And I just don't get it, because remember when you were in the service how they stressed that you're not allowed to make a statement on behalf of the Air Force? It's like I was allowed to make one on behalf of the Navy.
Yeah. No, exactly. Oh, yeah. No,
So why
exactly.
include her here in the Senate committee as Lieutenant Colonel Gabbert?
Right. Oh, no, exactly. Exactly. God only knows.
Then again, say, like, I also wonder why people like Davy Crockett aren't referred to as Congressman Crockett. He was a twice elected congressman from Tennessee.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Okay.
you get elected mayor one time, and the rest of your life, people are going to address you as Mr. or Mrs. Mayor. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
When it comes time for taming the Wild West and whatnot, and Davy Crockett comes up, it's never Congressman Crockett.
Right. It's
It's a Davy.
Davy Crockett. Oh, man.
The America's first presidential assassination attempt, and Davy Crockett was involved. It was Andrew Jackson, go figure, was the intended victim, and I forgot the potential assassin's name, but he was a failed house painter, because I guess that was an occupation back then. He was in the Capitol grounds, and he's like hiding behind a pillar, and the president and his entourage, which is, just a couple of his cronies, are walking by, and he pops up from behind a pillar, and first revolver misfires, second revolver misfires, and he gets tackled by Congressman Davy Crockett.
Oh, wow.
Of course, Andrew Jackson gets a couple jabs in with his cane, because he's the type.
Right, exactly.
And then, just for one more footnote of history, that guy's prosecutor was Francis Scott Key.
No way.
Totally.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that story just kept getting more interesting every time I read more about it.
Wow.
He spent his rest of his life in an asylum, if I remember right.
Really?
Yeah. It's like he wasn't convicted per se of the attempted homicide or whatnot. He was, I think, just found like criminally insane.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it wasn't just like, in Alaskan judicial system, when you're deemed criminally insane, so the prosecutor won't prosecute, which means they just drop the charges, and you're left to go back to the street and do what the hell you just did to someone else or anyone else.
Really?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Oh, yeah. No, it does. Not just here.
In fact, I'd rather not drop a name online, but
Yep.
if you want to go to court view, I could tell you a name to look up, and it's nothing but filed charges and drop charges, every one of them. And it's probably like 4 to 5 pages of just one line listing of court case numbers.
Oh, my goodness.
And the prosecutor won't do a thing because they're never going to convince 12 people that this dude was sane enough to know what he was doing. And, but it doesn't mean that the dude gets any sort of like psychiatric help or anything like that.
Right.
It means the prosecutor's done with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make the public any safer at all.
No, it does not. What was the name?
Yeah.
You don't want to say?
Well, I don't want to say, I don't work for them anymore.
You are correct. You don't work there anymore. Yeah.
So you have court view up?
No, I don't, but I can.
It's not going to help then, is it?
Well, it'll help somebody.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Getting it up here. Search trial court cases, right?
Yep, and then you can search by name.
Okay. Search cases, name. Okay.
Last name.
Yep.
SHOO. SH. That should be enough for the last name, and then
Oh,
first
okay.
name.
Yep.
Just put AR.
Okay. I only see 2 cases.
Really?
Yeah.
Click them around.
Okay.
Or go with first name A, letter A.
Okay.
Because it may be like AH.
Oh, there's not Anthony. Anthony?
No, it's Argon.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
There he is.
Oh, Argon.
Yeah.
Oh my good gosh. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
And just about none of them will be a conviction.
Damn.
All dismissed by prosecution.
2011,
some of them,
2011.
It's a minor offense. It's a traffic ticket.
Right.
But all the CRs.
Oh my goodness. And then so why?
Well, the person
Another page.
has own problems, and life gives you problems.
Civil protective order, minor offense, civil protective. Oh my good grief almighty. Another page.
Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just get back.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, now you want to look up a court case. Here's a number.
All right, hang on.
You
Let
have
me go back
my
to
court case number now.
hang on. Of course, it's gonna screw up on me. Okay. Case number.
4BE.
B as in boy.
4 Bravo Echo.
Okay.
11. 339. EI.
Oh boy. Okay. No record found. 4BE 11339 CI.
Make it 00339.
00.
Yeah.
No records found.
I'll have to look. Look up 399.
What?
I'll look it up when I come back.
Okay.
It's a good one. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. All right. We got to say, okay. We got to wait and see this. All right. While that's happening, while he's gone, let's take a look at something else. I had it up here just a second ago. Okay. Let's see. Let's share this tab instead. What do we got here? We have who needs a tetanus shot when you have Monster energy drinks? We have vinegar. And we have Monster energy drink. Wonder what's going to happen. That's 2 hours. And that's 2 days later. Why are you pointing it on your skateboard ramp? Oh, I guess you're blind. Okay. So that's the vinegar. All right. That's the Monster. Wow. So what's that doing to your insides? Whoa. I don't even want to know. Good thing I don't drink. I stay away from those energy drinks, man. One time we were driving and it was a long trip. Like we went, like when I go on vacation, I always plan these long, stupid road trips. Like totally despises it, but we went from you don't care, I love it. No, exactly. If you like it, you just roll on with it. I mean, Coke does the same thing. So we ended up, I mean, like I landed in Washington DC, spent a few days in Washington DC, then went down to Charlotte, North Carolina for a truck race and the NASCAR all-star race. Then decided, hey, we've never been to South Carolina, to Myrtle Beach. Never been to Myrtle Beach. What do you say we go to Myrtle Beach? So then we went to Myrtle Beach, and then we were driving up to visit my folks, my family in Ohio. So Myrtle Beach to Ohio. And I wanted to make, I mean, I'm like, we're going to make some time. So we're going, and I think somewhere around Tennessee, I stopped, and I'm like, there was, you know, I've had Red Bull before, and I'm like, and, you know, I don't know if Monster was out then or not. I don't remember what year it was, but this energy drink called NOS. And I'm like, okay, I'll try this one. Oh my God. That stuff, I don't know if it was like, I think it had like super duper caffeine. But I mean, I was just wired. Like I couldn't drink the whole thing. It was like probably like a 12 ounce or a 16 ounce bottle. I think it was a 16 ounce bottle. And it made me loopy. Like I couldn't drink anymore. That I had to put it away. And then we stopped. We stopped at Olive Garden in Charleston, West Virginia. Made it all the way to Charleston, West Virginia, from South Carolina, from Myrtle Beach in one day. And I stopped and went. I even had to have some wine to calm down after that.
4BE
okay.
11 0039CI.
Okay. All right. I will look this up while you sit down there. All right. 4BE
11.
Do I need to put the dashes in, or will it find it?
Yeah. You need the dashes.
Oh shoot. Okay.
And then 00.
Yep. BE-11-00339. Okay.
Jaws a dropping.
Okay. Oh. What in the world? Oh no.
You know, sometimes you just shouldn't allow everything.
Oh my God.
This, ladies and gentlemen at home, this was a change of name hearing in the good old town of Bethel, Alaska. Luckily for the sanctity of America and everyone involved, this name change request was denied. But I dare say the old name listed in the case, because you have your old name and the name you want to change it to.
Okay,
I dare say
God.
that is not the name that's on his birth certificate. So some other judge somewhere approved what is his old name in this current case.
Okay, so I'm going to share this. This is a court case that you can look up on the Alaska Court
State
View.
website.
This is a state of Alaska website. This is
a case filed in open court.
This is a change of name. And the new name, the old name is Super N-word. David N-word means human. And he wanted to change it to Ninja. Ninja means human, which means...
And it goes on and on and on. There's not enough characters in the computer system for the rant he had for what would be his first name.
Is it in here? I mean, can we find it here?
I don't believe it was. But this is on Microfiche now. You can go... It's open records. You can go to Bethel Courthouse and ask to view.
Change of name denied. Well, that's very,
Probably
very
for
good.
just the betterment of the world.
Oh, it is. Maybe it is up here. New name is Ninja. Ninja means human, which means DPC, which I don't know what that is. Oh my good grief. Oh no.
The DPC, I think, could have been what the clerk's initials.
Which means, maybe. Yeah, maybe they ran out of time. Oh my good God. I remember you telling us about this. I remember telling about this a while ago.
Yeah,
that is insane. Held in Bethel of all places.
Probably because that's the only place he could get that would file. Okay.
But you are
engine.
correct. You are correct. That he's trying to change his old name, which is still a ninja.
Which I dare
Super
say
Ninja.
probably not on his birth certificate. Which
Change.
means some other judge somewhere in this country allowed that name change from, Fred Jones or whatever the hell his name was that mom and dad gave him.
Old name is David Ninja, means human super ninja. No.
And Super Ninja was the last name.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly the last name.
now imagine him at Starbucks ordering his coffee and little Starbucks barista gets to write that on the cup.
Imagine going to a bar and the bouncer at the bar says, I need to see your ID. And you're like, okay. And proudly hand that ID to the bouncer at the bar.
Okay, here's one. Get on your search engine again and do a search for that name and check images.
Oh, no.
Yep.
All right. I'm not doing this in front of people. I'm doing it quietly.
Yeah, it doesn't need as much warnings as, say, the name, but
Right.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
if you're going to be unemployable anyway,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my good grief.
I mean, this dude has given himself a face that's just great for telemarketing.
All I'm seeing is, let's see, let me pull it up the other way. I'm not seeing the actual person. I'm just seeing a bunch of
Oh, he's almost like that guy Pirate
Oh, I got you. Okay.
or Eyeball.
Oh, okay.
I say, yeah, if you're going to make yourself unemployable anyway.
What? This guy has got
I wouldn't be surprised he has degrees.
no, he has a Reddit Ask Me Anything. He has a Reddit AMA.
Yeah, I'll ask. How's your career going?
I'm not kidding. Ask Me Anything. 11 years ago. My name is David Ninja. Means human super ninja AMA. My beliefs and language make it so that it's pointless to try to communicate it feels. I wish I was wrong or that the beliefs didn't reflect my values so that I could change and rejoin society. Is your last name Super Ninja? My last name is Super Ninja. I did it initially in honor of Russell Lawrence Lee, who couldn't get that name. Now I do it for ninja rights. Is that a My Little Pony tattooed on your face? How bad do you need attention? There's only it's funny because there's only 2 questions on this whole thing.
Right.
There's
Do you
nobody
really care what this guy has
5.
to say?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you changed your name to what?
And now you're regretting it for some reason?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you've seen the error of your ways?
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you see the
Too
images
funny.
on what this
I
guy
wish
looks
I could see it. Yeah, it didn't come up for me. So
I've done it before where I just do a search of the name and just go to images.
okay, let's see.
Because he sure made himself public.
Oh, okay. Is this it? Is that the dude?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
David.
okay. There he is.
I'm gonna call him David.
Yeah. Yeah. David's got interesting oh, now he's okay, so this picture
Now he's got no
he's only
so
got
he's
thing
survived.
now he's got more. So we got more Reddit. Employers hate him.
Oh, and he's got
Oh,
both
he's
sides of his face tattooed
got
now.
he's got a video. No way. All right, we got to check this out, folks. All right, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Anytime you need me to just change the topic.
My good God.
All you white people who want to use the N-word, stitch this and tell me why.
So that's really a great invitation. Thank you. Because there is a lot of N-word phobia. And TikTok, it's like a crime if you type it. You know, it is abolished on TikTok. It's not like
He's got a TikTok. He's got a TikTok, Michael.
Well, anyone
type that on YouTube or on my website.
How many followers do you have? 3?
I got to go see, but hang on.
It's like 85,000.
I mean, this is 4 years ago. This is only 4 years ago.
Specifically in honor of Russell Lawrence Lee. 2 S's, 2 L's. Russell Lawrence
Like
Lee.
how you spell Russell.
And on top of that, I think I am an N-word. Now, I am a white, tattooed N-word. And so, I don't know, maybe could I be a person of color? No, I probably can't. But who cares about race? Wouldn't it be nice if we just all self-identified as the N-word together and we worked for N-word rights in a new America?
Worked out so well for everyone else who got.
Oh my good Lord. Okay, we got it. All right, let's look and see. Is crazy one in
Imagine
FT.
this rabbit hole, huh?
Stop. I hate TikTok drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I bet you he's got to have lost this damn channel by now.
Well, it's still available.
He does not have that anymore. His channel is no longer. At least that iteration of his channel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no, I spelled it wrong. Hang on. It's CRAZ1. Okay, I put the 1 in the wrong place. And nope, I don't see that either. Let's just make sure. Oh, there's another one in there.
Tapped on your window, spare changing.
Oh my goodness.
Would you shoot him?
Yeah, I don't know. That one doesn't come up either. Crazy one in FT. It's just not coming up. Darn it.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. What a nut. What a nutty nut.
And I thought that King Tut guy in the Batman thing was crazy.
Oh my good gravy.
They walk among us, people. They walk
You
us.
know at some point that dude has slipped up and said his thing. And that's why he lost his damn channel.
You know, the thing is, it's
oh my
and
God.
for people like this, I'm glad that you get the face tattoos and whatnot, because I could just take one look at him and immediately know down to my soul, down to the deepest part of my heart. I don't want to hear jack shit what you have to say, dude. I could just, without you even speaking, I already know I want to hear nothing that you have to say.
No, exactly.
That's just me, though. Yeah.
There is
your own path.
There is an interview on YouTube even. This guy did this for this publicity, obviously.
Well, he wasn't going to get a job, so. Says
and
you.
Again, 7 years ago. So this was prior to the second tattoo.
Yeah, to the other side of his face.
Yep. This was prior to that.
Still had his skull cap.
I just okay. All right. I can't.
Yeah, you see, like
oh
I
my
said,
God.
You take one look at them and go, nope, you couldn't possibly have anything I want to hear. And not
No.
not that what he's saying in this case is so extreme. It's like, I just don't want to have this conversation with you.
No. That's not how you do this. It's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. Oh my God.
But it's good to see that, he's doing something game design, because you don't have to interact with other humans.
Right. No,
face to
exactly.
face.
Oh my good God.
And would still be legal employment, because I don't see him doing anything for a career than like strong arm robbery.
Yeah. I wonder if he's still in Bethel.
No, I think he was just in Bethel for the court case.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not.
All right.
I doubt he's even in state anymore.
Oh my God. Okay, on that note, I think we're done.
All right, y'all come back with more
Done.
tomorrow. Well, let's want to show this Batman King Tut episode.
Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go back and play it. I only played a little bit of it. Sorry. I shared the damn thing. I don't know why it didn't play, but yeah.
Yeah, and Batman defeated King Tut by doing the Batusi.
Oh my God.
You remember the Batusi?
I remember the Batusi. I don't know. I don't want to remember the Batusi. Okay. We'll be here tomorrow. Michael and I, Jody, not so much. Then Saturday,
all of us.
Trailer release party Saturday. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be awesome. So we'll talk more about the trailer tomorrow night and some other fun stuff. So we will see you tomorrow. Michael,
yes.
say good night.
Good night.